I'm Lisa, the artist behind Lachri Fine Art. Today is Tuesday, so that means I will be critiquing one of your original paintings or drawings. If you have an original painting or drawing that you would like to submit for critique, head over to my website, that's my email, lachri.com I forgot my address. Head over to my website, lachri.com/critiques, and you can submit your work there. Today we are taking a look at this oil painting that is a 12 by 14 inch of the artist's daughter. Starting off with the things I like about this piece, I like that you got a lot, and I keep looking down because my tablet as usual is in my hands, but I really like the shading that you got on the face, that your darks especially are really, really accurate in your colors there. And I can see where you were shading and getting the blending done, like the blending on the dimples, the crease around her mouth, really nicely done. So moving on to some of the things that we can adjust to improve on this even more. I started off, like I have been a lot for these critiques, by layering your reference photo, which is beautiful by the way, thank you so much for submitting that, but I layered the reference photo on top of the painting and I added transparency to the reference photo so that I could line things up. And in this case I lined up the top of her glasses and her chin just to see how the proportions and everything lined up. Once I got that done, I used a red pen and outlined the original photograph. Then I removed the photograph and you can see exactly where the red lines line up with the painting so we can see how accurate things are. So first you can see that her face is too wide in this painting. It needs to thin down on the sides and it needs to come up higher on the forehead. Her eyebrows should be raised up a bit and they should be about twice as thick as what they are now. You'll want to make her lips a bit fuller, and teeth. Teeth are a big thing. You want to definitely lose, like right now they're too well defined, and a lot of people will do teeth like this and they end up looking like fake pretend teeth stuck in a mouth. So you want to really, really soften out your lines a lot. Plus the teeth, you do want to enlarge each of those teeth, especially in front, quite a bit more. I can't make these actual adjustments in your painting because it would be easier to start over. So what I'm going to do is just leave everything how you've got it and add some additional adjustments on top of that, how you can improve what you currently have. We're gonna start off with the lighting. You've got her shadows, great color. You did so good on the color on the shadows, but the highlights seem, I know that gets really, really scary for people. Get those highlights in there. I actually did a color match where I color matched the highlights that I used with the color in your reference photo, and you can see you wanna lighten that up a lot. And because you do have such a great reference photo that has the good lighting, really go with that, play up the lighting there. So you can see I've washed out the one side of her face quite a bit, and this gives so much more depth in a painting when you can get that strong contrast like this. And I can see where you started to get your contrast like this. You just want to strengthen those highlights a lot more. Next, onto her lips and teeth. Her lips, you definitely want to make those fuller. She's got nice beautiful full lips. Play that up for sure. For the outside edge, you want to lose some of the definition there. It looks more natural on the lips if you can kind of blend that in really softly, the lip color with her skin, especially on the right side of the painting, her left side where the highlights are. You can see where I've just pulled the highlight of her skin right into her lip, and it gives it such a much more natural look than leaving them dark and outlined how they were. I've added shadows on the inside corner of her lips, and that again, putting those shadows in there, you're creating a lot more depth. For her teeth, I've gotten rid of most of those lines. You just want a hint of those lines, because for teeth you don't see the individual lines so much when you look at somebody. You just want to see the hint or shadows of where those lines would be, but no definite harsh lines. You also want to watch that teeth aren't all white. The only white she has on here is where the light is so strong on the one side of her face. The other side are going to fall into a shadow. And again, doing these shadows like this, having the light area and the dark area, it takes the teeth from looking flat to having a much more natural curve to them. Onto her eyes, you've got them outlined really heavy with that dark, and it's almost like she's got a heavy dark eyeliner on. But in fact, if you take that black and just soften it, especially on the upper lids, soften that quite a bit so it's more like eyeshadow, and just kind of smudge that, keep it real soft, but it gives it, again, a more natural look than having a heavy outline. For the whites of her eyes, you rarely will have actual white in the whites of the eyes. It's generally going to be a grayish tone or whatever's reflecting around the person, but you want to darken that up quite a bit, and you also want to round that off by adding some shadows on the corners of the eyes, the inside and outside. The way that it is right now, it's very flat, so by adding some of these little details, it'll create a lot more depth and make the eyes look more like they're rounded. I've also added a bit of a shadow right under the upper eyelid. Almost everybody is going to have a shadow there, and that also helps with creating more dimension. One of the adjustments that I didn't make on this that you can on yours is to hype up the contrast and the highlights on her hair. She could definitely use some highlights there that will make her hair look nice and shiny. There are two things that you can do here. One, start from scratch, start all over. It's such a good reference photo, I'd almost prefer you to do that just because it's great great practice because it is a wonderful photo. You can start over again and adjust some of those differences where her head needs to be taller, her face needs to be thinned out, the thicker eyebrows, and that sort of thing. Just because some of those are so far off now, you can't really easily fix that in your painting without some of that showing through. Your second option is just to work from what you've got now and pull out those highlights on her face. It'll give so much more dimension, add some shadows to her eyes and the lips like I was talking about. But either way, you can improve on this piece a lot. You've started off great. I can tell you've got the talent. So keep going with this because you're going to do really well. I love the way that you've got your blending done, your wet into wet blending. You've done a really good job. So just a few adjustments and you'll be that much better. Again, for any of you guys, if you would like to submit one of your original paintings or drawings for a critique, I can't talk, you can head over to my website, lachri.com/critiques, and you can submit your work there. I have new video critiques every Tuesday where I'm critiquing your original paintings and drawings, my own speed paintings, drawings, and tutorials every Wednesday, and vlogs most weekends. So make sure you subscribe and follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all those social media sites. Links are below in the video description. Below. I don't know where to point. They're below in the video description, and you can follow me there. Don't forget to head back tomorrow where I am doing a tutorial on this leopard and colored pencil. I'll see you guys tomorrow.